Good job, guys. Be looking for the girls at each corner. They'll be going over the dash dance with you every time we score a goal. Have a great game.
The Houston Dash thank you in advance for your support and for making the Dash Celebration Dance one of the most unique festivities in all of professional sports.
Tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have 2 hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. 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 I didn't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, today marks the beginning of a new era of the World's Game in Houston. On December 12th, Houston became home of the first expansion team in the National Women's Soccer League. Since that time, in just 121 days, the Houston Dash name and brand has been launched. Dynamo legend Brian Ching was named managing director, and Randy Waldrum appointed head coach. The roster has been filled with some exciting players. Training camp is complete, and now we have arrived at the inaugural game and a very special day in the history of the Houston sports landscape. We welcome you to the inaugural game of the Houston Dash. Ladies and gentlemen, as our inaugural match festivities get underway, we turn your attention to midfield. The National Women's Soccer League would like to recognize the Houston Dash as the first expansion team in the NWSL. At this time, please welcome National Women's Soccer League Executive Director Cheryl Bailey as she presents the Houston Dash's president Chris Canetti with a special gift commemorating the Houston Dash's 2014 inaugural home match. The Houston Dash and the City of Houston thank Executive Director Bailey for joining us on this very special day. Ladies and gentlemen, from December 12th to today, the history of the Houston Dash has been written. Before we begin on an exciting new chapter this evening, let's take a look back now on the incredible journey to tonight's inaugural match.
So introducing the Houston Dash.
We are a place where soccer is taking off for boys and girls, and to be able to have women playing professional soccer here in a beautiful stadium is going to exponentially increase the interest for our kids to be engaged in sports at all levels, but particularly support soccer.
To have a professional league that is sustainable, that is moving forward, will provide for years to come little girls in this community to grow up, to emulate those players that they're going to see when they come out to be a part of a professional team.
Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Dash's new head coach, Randy Waldron.
This organization and what it stands for is what sold me on making this move.
The seventh selection will take Ariana Romero from Seattle. We'll take Gabriela Toulouse from DC.
Brittany, hey, are you ready to put some orange on? All right.
Coming to Houston, which is like my favorite place in the world, and being with my brother-in-law and my sister, it's incredible.
The support from Houston, the whole city, and then a lot of Dynamo fans, they're going to both. They love the fact, they're like, we love that we have women here playing, and I think that's exciting for a whole different group of people here in the Houston area. And so we are excited to put a good product on the field.
Give me a shot at the night. I feel like I'm losing the fight. Give me a shot at the night. Some kind of mysterious. Give me a shot at the night. Give me a moment. Some kind of mysterious. Give me a shot at the night. Give me a moment. Some kind of mysterious.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a champion of our city and culture, the City of Houston has been committed to bringing first-class attractions such as the National Women's Soccer League to our area. With a special announcement, please welcome the Mayor of Houston and Dash inaugural season ticket holder, Anise Parker.
It is my honor to welcome the Dash to Houston. The only thing that could have been better would have been had we been able to play the first year, but we are glad to be here. Thank you for bringing the Dash here. It is now, I, the Mayor of the City of Houston, proclaim Houston Dash Day in the City of Houston.
Thank you, Mayor Parker, for joining us on this historical occasion.
Make sure that go ahead with our read. Keep on this. We've got a long read.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Houston Dash team was created with a vision, not only to showcase the extreme talent in the women's professional game, but to serve as role models for our young girls both on and off the field of play. The vision of the team played out this week as we welcomed 3 young girls who got to meet their new heroes for the first time at the first annual Houston Dash Kickoff Luncheon. At this time, we are pleased to welcome them to christen the inaugural season of the Houston Dash with our ceremonial first goal. Please welcome Katie, Courtney, and Lauren Kohler. Unable to travel due to injury for today's Dynamo game, accompanying Katie, Courtney, and Lauren in a show of support for the game of soccer and the Houston Dash on this special day is the player who scored the first goal for the Houston Dynamo in the inaugural match here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Please welcome Houston Dynamo captain, Brad Davis. Kick it away, girls. The Dash thank Katie, Courtney, Lauren, and Brad for joining us on this historic day.
Live from Houston, Texas at BBVA Compass Stadium, Houston Dash make their mark on the National Women's Soccer League. They take on Portland Thorns FC, the reigning champs, and it's coming up right now. Inside BBVA Compass Stadium, home of the Houston Dynamo, now home of the Houston Dash. It's hot, it's humid. They're ready to go against Portland Thorns FC, who travel south of the Mason-Dixon line to take on Houston Dash. Welcome upstairs to our broadcast position here in downtown Houston as we get ready for the opening match of 2014. I'm Lane Zeben, joined by the keeper, Jen Cooper. It's been 4 months almost to the exact date, December 12th, when Houston was tabbed the first place they'd send an extensive franchise into the NWSL. And Jen, many people thought 4 months wasn't nearly enough time in order to get a team ready to go on the pitch, and they've succeeded with that. We'll see the results in just a moment. But if you take it back even further, in 2013 at the end of the summer, they said they weren't even going to have space for a ninth team. What happened? How did Houston become involved, and how did they get that team?
Well, Lane, the biggest reason we have a team here today is Dynamo team president Chris Canetti. It was his persistence that convinced the NWSL that expansion for 2014 was possible. He collected more than 1,000 deposits for season tickets in less than a week. Add to that the tremendous growth of women's soccer in Houston, not only on the college level, but on the club level. And also this city has hosted the U.S. women's national team 4 times, always in front of a healthy crowd. A team in the nation's 4th largest city was long overdue.
Speaking of some of those international players, the captain, the one wearing the armband, is Erin McLeod, the Canadian international who leads this team in number of caps. What's so special about her? Why did her team vote her as the captain?
Well, Erin has more experience than anyone else on this team, not only internationally, but also playing professional ball. She is a natural leader in the back, very vocal, great at commanding her defense, and she's relishing the opportunity to really build this franchise, be the face of this franchise. She's just a natural choice for captain.
This is what Erin had to say midweek after the luncheon about being selected by her teammates.
We did a vote this morning, and I'm just honored. Randy, his whole speech and a lot of the speeches by Brian and Chris was just about the character of the people here. So to have the honor of leading people of this caliber is really a privilege.
Have you been captain for Canada before, or one of your club teams?
I've only been captain for Canada for like 1 or 2 games. Christine Sinclair will forever be the captain. For sure, for so many reasons. But no, this is the first time, and I won't take it lightly. That's for sure.
The Canadian international Erin McLeod, the captain, the goalkeeper of this squad. She'll be in the starting 11. Jen, what is her biggest problem for tonight for the Dash?
The biggest challenge for Erin and for the Dash is our very young back line. We lost several defenders due to injury and prior club commitments, so she's got to be very vocal and keep that back line very organized.
Head coach Randy Waldrum has this to say about some of the keys to the game on top of that.
Well, I think there's a couple of things that we have to really focus on. One is we're going to have to be really tight in between our lines defensively, and that part's got to be really organized because they can really expose you if you don't. Secondly is I think we need to get our possession game going. We need to try to make them chase the game a little bit. And then I think the last thing, I think it's going to come down to dead balls and set pieces and the organization of that. And that's one area as an expansion team we're going to have to be good at all year because we don't want to give away easy goals that way. And yet at the same time, we need to get goals off of our dead ball situations. And as you know, those may be game changers for you. So those are the three things I think we'll focus on.
Head coach Randy Waldrum in his first professional season. Jen, there's so much that he has to protect for in this game, but you also mentioned the midfield being a big part of this matchup.
This match is going to be won or lost in the midfield, and I think the trio of Brittany Bach, Becky Edwards, and Jordan Jackson, they have to win that midfield battle. If they can do that and get the ball up to the dash forwards, we could see a great game for the new team.
Some of these dead ball situations that he was talking about are going to be relied upon from Stephanie Oakes up top. She stands 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. Why is she so impressive in the focal point for the aerial attack?
I would say, aside from her height, it's also her experience playing in the Australia W League in the offseason. She really grew as a player after a rookie season for Washington Spirit.
It looks like the procession is ready to go down on the field. We're going to take you there inside BBVA Compass Stadium. And, wow, how about this sight as they walk out from behind the goal line. Portland Thorns FC, Houston Dash coming up with kickoff right after this.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Who's done just about anything else? Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hi there, this is Tally Hall, and I'm joined by Michael Bingham and Clayton Harris from the Houston Fire Department soccer team, and Al Rivera from the Houston Police Department soccer team. We wanted to give you a heads up about the second annual Guns and Hoses match for charity. This year's match will take place on April 27th, immediately following our game versus Portland Timbers. Houston's police and fire departments place their lives on the line every day, and this is our chance to give back in a small way. A portion of the proceeds from each ticket purchased for this match will benefit both Assist the Officer and firefighters helping firefighters.
Firefighters Helping Firefighters has been extremely helpful assisting families struggling following a major injury.
Firefighters Helping Firefighters is started by firemen and run by firemen.
Assist the Officer is an organization dedicated to help Houston police officers and their families in a time of need. Come and support our Houston Dynamo and stick around for the game.
To order your tickets for this year's Guns N' Hoses match, please go to www.houstondynamo.com/gunsandhoses. I can't wait to see you all at BBVA Compass Stadium on April 27th as we battle Portland, followed by this season's Guns N' Hoses Showdown.
It's Portland Thorns FC and Houston Dash as we get ready for America's national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise and let your voices be heard by joining in the singing of tonight's national anthem. Performed this evening by a special guest, please welcome from this season's American Idol, recording artist and Houston native, Tori Tompkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reckless, the bombs bursting and air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A resounding national anthem for a team that is making its inaugural appearance inside BBVA Compass Stadium. Lane Zeben, Jen Cooper, we're glad to join you high above the action. Jen, how fantastic is this, not just for the city, but for national women's soccer as a total? We saw the women's team play a couple of nights ago against China in San Diego. Now some of those players come back over here. A few of them dispersed throughout the rest of the country. They're all over the place.
This is great, Lane, on a number of levels. It's great to see the league expanding. It's also important that in the second season we have all the same investors, same owners, everyone's sticking with it, and things are just getting bigger and better for the league all around.
They sold out almost every single lower bowl ticket inside BBVA Compass Stadium. They had to open up some of the upper decks right in front of us especially, and we're going to have a packed house tonight.
This is great. I wish I had some better adjectives for that, but I think this has been a long time coming for Houston, and it's so great to see the soccer fans in Houston embrace this.
We had a chance to see them a week ago. As we take a look at our officials, Christina Uncle will be our lead referee, Veronica Perez, Marlene Duffy, our two ARs, and our fourth official will be Danielle Chesky. You can see FIFA officials, too, making an appearance tonight. They'll be wearing the glad green. I tell you, the walk-up was the most impressive part so far. It feels like an international match inside here, and the whole lower bowl is full. Everything going on right now, it just gives you that aura of the top level of professionalism that you can have, as we see the two team captains, Sinclair for the Portland Thorns over to the left in the white, Aaron McLeod, both Canadians.
Both Canadians, and they've been teammates for more than 12 years, and it's interesting to see them being captain at the same time because Sinclair's always been Canada's captains, and Erin McLeod has never had that chance. So I know this is a special moment for them, too.
Christine Sinclair over 200 caps for Team Canada. Erin McLeod just under 100. And the coin toss giving fits. Portland wins. They will stay on the side they're on, which means the dash will kick off. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for Portland Thorns FC.
Of course, you've got Nadine Ongerer in goal, the FIFA World Player of the Year last year, just in from Germany. A very young back line, just like the dash due to injuries. You've got Courtney Nemec and Nikki Marshall and Emily Menges. That's going to be interesting to watch.
A 3-4-3 is what it appears that Paul Riley, the head coach of Portland Thorns, will be using. The Houston Dash starting lineup.
Of course, Erin McLeod, our captain in goal. Again, in charge of a very young defense. Osinachi Ohale signed just in time for today's match, the Nigerian defender. And that very potent midfield trio of Brittany Bach, Jordan Jackson, Becky Edwards. They're the key to making this game work.
A 4-3-3 under head coach Randy Waldrum out of Notre Dame. He won 2 championships there, Jen, and he's got a tall task in front of him with his startup franchise, the extensive Houston Dash, and he's expected to win right from the start, much like any team across any level of professional sports is expected to.
Randy has so much experience coaching, but this is actually his first ever professional game to coach. You know, more than 25 years in the college ranks, more than 20 years with U.S. Soccer coaching the U23s. He's got to be a little nervous tonight.
This is the opening match of the 2014 campaign for both sides. Portland Thorns FC, the reigning 2013 NWSL champions. Houston Dash making their first appearance.
And of course, in that signature orange, which Houston has come to know, that's our color. I always think of that as retro Astros orange.
The city of Houston has definitely embraced it as its own. Erin McLeod, the Canadian international, in goal. It's Edwards and Jackson ready to kick it off for the Dash. And we're underway inside BBVA Compass Stadium, and quickly on the press, it's Kalia Ohai here on the near left side. Already taken out of play. It'll be a Portland Thorns throw-in. Washington tries to get ahead. Ohai, Edwards, and Masser, who's getting the start in the middle of the forwards. There's 3 of them, Oaks, Masser, and Ohai. Jen, tonight, what are we expecting from those 3 forwards?
Well, we're going to see a lot of hold-up play from Masser. She's the veteran among that trio. She's played at several different clubs, both in WPS and across the pond for PSG. She'll be the one that can play with her back to goal. Oaks and Ohai on the wings, they're going to have to be the finishers.
Looks like we have another throw-in coming from the near side. Courtney Nemec, who was just picked up by Portland Thorns. On the back line is Hine. Ohale. Swing it far side for Romero, the Mexican international. Oaks tries to sneak it through her opponent's legs, gets the throw-in instead.
And we're going to see a lot of throw-ins from Romero this game. She's great with the long throws and also running up that flank.
This is Oaks trying to sneak through the defense, which is also a makeshift defense for the Portland Thorns. They're missing a few key players. Rachel Van Holbeck is not there.
Yeah, she was deemed not fit to play after a minor injury in Thursday night's U.S. women's game against China.
She called it a left ankle sprain, and those are the words out of her own mouth after the game, so she is deemed not fit to play.
And with Portland already missing several of the big names they signed, that's got to hurt the back line.
No Alex Morgan, no Tobin Heath. It's all Christine Sinclair up top. And you and I were talking before the broadcast that Sinclair and Morgan didn't quite work as well together as they would have liked last year. And now with Morgan out, it's really Sinclair's show.
Well, with the previous system that Portland played, they used Christine Moore as an attacking midfielder, and I just don't think that was a natural fit for her and Alex. So now with the new coach, Paul Riley, they want Christine all the way up top. That's where she likes to be. I think that's going to work much better.
Well, and it appears that the midfielder, Brittany Bach, has taken a knock as she walks off the field towards the team's bench. Catch Dash Soccer in HD all season long on CSN Houston, the home of Dash Soccer and Houston Dynamo Soccer. So Bach is off the field, and right now the Dash playing with just 10 women.
And it looks like Lindsay Elston might be warming up.
We hope it's not too serious. Bach's had problems with injuries in her career. Bach has broken her wrist and broken ribs a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a lot of these players are on the Dash roster because of injuries that took them out of their starting lineups last season, and so were considered potential liabilities for this season.
Bach only had 7 appearances last year with Sky Blue FC, another team in the NWSL. Played it back by Courtney Niemiec, and barely getting it away, Angerer. The FIFA Women's Player of the Year, Nadine Angerer, out of Germany. It's cleared out of play. It'll be a Dash throw. And Angerer, the goalkeeper for the Portland Thorns, just returned from an international match.
She flew straight to Houston from Germany. She had 2 Women's World Cup qualifiers against Slovenia and Ireland, so she's not showing the effects yet, but we'll see how she looks in the second half if that jet lag has affected her.
Washington, who is a free kick specialist, who has been all over the place, will be taking this spot kick. And Jen, she's played for 6 different teams over the last 5 seasons, maybe 6 seasons if you want to call it that.
Well, she was definitely a victim of some WPS teams folding.
They'll go to Romero.
But she survived.
They'll go to Romero instead, and a header inside the area, taken high over the crossbar. Jordan Jackson was there. The first opportunity goes begging for Jordan Jackson. Comes out of Nebraska, just graduated. Here we see Anger getting ready to take the goal kick. The Germany captain, a member of 6 consecutive Euro Cup championship teams with Germany.
Yeah, and speaking of the Euro Cup, she saved 2 penalty kicks in the Euro final last summer.
Into the middle for Ali Long, and it's taken away. This is Masser teeing it up, and she may have scuffed the ground a little bit. She's claiming deflection, and it will be the first corner of the match.
And of course, Nikki Washington going over to take that one. This is a tremendous opportunity for the Dash. Coach Waldron had talked about that dead balls and set pieces would be key to the game.
Well, Oaks is 5'8", and she stands tall in there wearing number 22. Washington will take this corner. Nobody on the back post. It's cleared high and wide by Amber Brooks. Only as far as Becky Edwards, who played for the Thorns last year. As it poked out of bounds. Tough challenge by Emily Mingus. How about Becky Edwards coming into anchor with Brittany Bach in that midfield?
Well, they've been a midfield pairing before. They played for the Western New York Flash in 2011, took that team all the way to the WPS final and won. So it's a great pairing for those 2.
This is Romero with that long throw in. Gets it past Masser. Tried to reach Jackson, and it's cleared high by Angie Kerr. Angie Kerr, a familiar name, 10 United States caps.
Though most of them she probably played under the name of Wozniak.
Nice clearance to Oaks. Mingus will let it trickle out of bounds over the touchline. Long, can't control the pass. She takes it right off the feet of Romero. Well, Jessica McDonald waiting by herself up top with nobody in sight, and she gets it down the far side. Coming down to close her out. It's Ohele. Into the middle for Long. A touch from Sinclair. McDonald making the run. Rebecca Moros, and it's out of bounds for a goal kick. This back line of the Dash, Jen, with Washington, Hine, Ohele, and Romero, is the 4 that you didn't expect to start this game.
Not at all. We thought a month ago it would have been Samashima and Lauren Sesselman with, the potential of our 2 U.S. internationals who are still in Sweden, and completely different back 4.
Whitney Ingen and Megan Klingenberg were the other 2. They're playing with Tyrisso in the UEFA Champions League. Both graduates of UNC. A lot of players graduating from UNC. Speaking of, Kalia Ohai tried to go with the outside of her boot to her teammate Masser, and she's down holding her ankle. And she is slowly getting up as the Thorns try and charge, but McLeod will collect and have a chance to get Ohai back on her feet. And she's still down.
And McLeod's definitely taking her time. Give him more time to look at Ohai.
Our referee has finally stopped play to go over and check on her. What's the difference that these women are seeing now that we've actually started 2014 play as opposed to some of the exhibitions?
Well, this is a much higher level of play. You're going to have much more physical contact like we just saw there. The best competition the Dash faced in preseason was Texas A&M, a perennial nationally ranked team, Southeast Conference champions, but nothing like what you're going to see at the professional level. When we only have 9 teams nationwide and such a deep U.S. national team pool, this is the best of the best.
By the way, Brittany Bach has come back onto the field, but now Kalia Ohai, the Draper, Utah native, is getting helped off. Comes out of North Carolina. She won a championship there in 2012, the #1 collegiate draft pick for Randy Waldrum.
Right. He made it very clear that the club made it very clear that they wanted Kalia first and foremost.
Let's see if she can shake off that slight knock. And once again, the Dash are down to 10 women.
Sometimes you play smarter with 10.
It's a 4-3-3 setup, and now without one of their forwards, really the defense and the midfield don't change as much. Washington trying to battle on the outside. Able to poke it away from Farley. Bach lofting it for Masser on the charge. Getting there just in time was Niemiec. Clearance from Anger and headed out of play by Edwards. The Thorns last year were tied for first, but they finished 3rd on points, 38 total, 11 wins, 6 losses, 5 ties. Washington takes it away and sends it into space. A little too far for Oaks. But it seems like this Thorns team, many people think that they can still match those numbers, if not build upon them, even though the team's completely changed.
Right, the Thorns had the best road record last season in the league, but surprisingly did not have a very strong home record, given that they had by far the highest average attendance in the league. So I think that's their biggest focus this season, is making their home field a fortress.
Turned by Jackson. Over to the right wing. This is Oaks. 1-on-1 with Morrow. Sends it in. Trapped by Jackson. Shot! Just high over the crossbar once again. That's twice she's been in there.
Cross from the right, she just leans back a little too much so that ball doesn't stay down under the post. It skies over. She wants that one back.
You'd have to say you'd at least like to see that put on target for the Dash, but as second chances go, so far for Jordan Jackson, she's been in on both shots that have been attempted on target. This is Romero. 7th pick in the expansion draft. She sends it deep for Masser. Headed clear by Mingus. And out of play for another corner kick, the second of the match.
Crowd's really getting behind them on the corners too.
Well, so far it's been all Dash through the first 11 minutes. Let's see if they go with a short corner. Eventually Washington shooing everybody away. Ohale comes in from the back line. Sent in by Washington, just headed clear. Off the top of Nikki Marshall's head, and the Thorns can counterattack. Sent deep by Brooks, and intercepted by Romero. This is Hine, out of the University of Michigan. Sends it for Masser, who tries to get around her defender. Oh, and she clatters right into Angerer. Angerer and Masser both hit the deck. Talk about physicality, Chip. We saw it there.
That's what we call a welcome to the league. She's just telling her hello.
Masser, who's been playing in this league for 1 year, last year with the Chicago Red Stars, had 3 goals in 20 appearances, has been all over the place. The 28-year-old, well, she just had a birthday. Happy birthday.
She's a force to be reckoned with. She talks about how she's never had a knee or ankle injury from soccer, but she's broken her nose 4 times. Thankfully, that was not the 5th.
Well, hers is a pretty impressive story as well. Ella Masser, a 28-year-old out of Illinois, played with the Chicago Red Stars. Many people surprised, as a tap on the back is called, many people were surprised that Masser was not held on to in the expansion draft by the Chicago Red Stars.
Well, she was always productive for the club, but I don't think as maybe consistent as they wanted her to be.
Headed back in. Uh-oh, this is McDonald. Wisely played back to the keeper.
And the club made a lot of changes in the offseason. They finished 6th out of 8 teams, so I think they were just overhauling their whole look.
Well, Washington taken down from behind by Long. The Portland Thorns were one of the most penalized teams last year. And here we have our first yellow of the match, and it goes to Allie Long,
who committed the most fouls for Portland last year.
Just a clear takedown from behind on Washington, and well, you'd like to hope that she's okay. Kalia Ohai is still warming up on the touchline, and she hasn't been substituted out yet, and apparently she's just said to head coach Randy Waldrum, take me back into the game.
That's good to hear.
You forget that the Dash have been playing with only 10 women for the last 3 minutes. Washington sends it in. And it's headed clear. That was Sinclair dropping all the way back. Kerr to Niemiec, back to Angerer.
I think these players have been waiting for this day for so long. You know, through preseason, just we want this to happen. We want this to be a reality. I think that energy is carrying them when they're playing down or possibly playing hurt.
Farley with a takedown on Jackson. It'll be another Dash free kick. Clearly right now through the first 15 minutes, it seems the Dash are more on top of things than the Thorns.
They want this. They're hungry. All of the preseason predictions are that they're going to finish at the bottom of the table, and I think they're trying to say, we don't agree.
This will be Romero, as pretty much everybody except Washington goes up into the penalty area. Romero sends it in. Header is on by Hine. It trickles wide left of the goal. Well, Holly Hine getting forward. Comes out of Michigan. Her story is pretty impressive, and she may have gotten a deflection there for a corner kick. So she'll stay forward. Already the 3rd corner of the match for the Dash. Portland has 0. On the back post, McDonald with the header clear and put it on the other side. Another corner kick. We heard Coach Randy Waldrum talking about some of the dead balls and set pieces. This is exactly what he wanted through the first 16 minutes.
He's got to be feeling really good right now, especially when you consider he's relaxing on the bench while Paul Riley is kind of stressed at the edge of the technical area. It says a lot.
Paul Riley, first-year head coach at the professional level in the NWSL. Same can be said for Randy Waldrum. Sent back post. Ohale was there. Hine almost got a foot to it. McDonald has to clear. Oaks trying to position herself, has it taken away by Sinclair. Sinclair gets the feed. The Canadian captain. Cut back with Edwards hot on her heels.
Edwards knows Sinclair well. They've played together on several teams.
Mingus will get on it. And Kalia Ohai has resumed action, so full strength once again for the dash. Farley. Back to Marshall. Kerr. She can't find Niemek on the outside. Bach with the takeaway. Edwards to High. This is Edwards. Edwards still going. Keeps it in play. Pass was wild down the sideline. This is Allie Long dribbling. Nobody closing her down. She's still going. Shot goes. Deflected off Romero and then cleared by Bach. Nobody closing down on Allie Long.
Looked like Bach was going to call for a sub again, but no, now she went back down. She was waving okay to the sideline and then changed her mind.
It looked like on her follow-through of her kick to clear that one out over the touchline, she may have caught a defending player. Still 0-0. 18 left. 18 played already, I should say. Let's see if we can see what happened. Throwing on the far side. Cross comes in. Masser there for the clearance. And again, it'll be a Thorns throw-in. This is Long. Got to the goal line. Touched clear by Ohale. Shot comes in, and it's well wide. Sinead Farley. 1 to win 2 tickets to the Houston Dash versus FC Kansas City on May 3rd. Text PRIZE prize to 69050 for your chance to win. This is McLeod. First time we've called her name to take a goal kick. Romero.
It's good to see her get some touches on the ball.
Romero keeps it in play and then gives it up. This is McDonald. Transfer from Phoenix College to UNC. Sent it in. Nobody was there. This is Angie Kerr. What looked like a pass turned into a shot. McLeod collects.
And this is where McLeod's work really starts to pay off. She's got to talk. She's got to organize that defense, make sure everybody's on the same page.
We may have our first substitution. Teresa Noyola is standing at midfield. It appears that Brittany Bach will not be able to continue on in this match after she's left twice. And the Dash back down to playing with 10 men. This is Long. Looking for Niemek. A runner for Kerr. Tried to find McDonald. Ball sent long. This is Oaks on the run. Mingus on the coverage. Oaks beats her. Trying to find an open pass. Didn't get very far. Nikki Marshall there to cut it out. Marshall and Long playing some 1-2, and this is Marshall on the run out of Colorado. Graduated in 2009, and Ohale is there to stop the flow. Looking for Ohai on the near side. Kerr loses out to Edwards. And Masser has dropped back into that Brittany Bach role with her standing on the touchline. So Masser is now that forward moved back into a midfielder role. Washington, the fullback, coming forward. And nobody there to send it into. What does Masser dropping back do now for the Dash attack?
Well, she does tend to get all over the field. I don't think it's a positional change so much as her reading the game and seeing what's needed.
The Mexican international Noyola waiting on the touchline. Middle of the field.
Once Noyola's in, Master should be able to get back middle up top.
Cross comes in. Edwards tried the clearance, and she scuffed it. It'll be a Thorns throw-in, and here comes that substitution. Brittany Bach's action ends in the 23rd minute. Noyola comes on, played with FC Kansas City in the Seattle Reign last year. Comes in, sneaks into the back post, and it's through for the first goal of the match. A header while the substitution was being made. Give credit to Portland Thorns FC. They take a 1-0 lead over the Dash. How did that happen for Ali Long?
I just think they caught the Dash sleeping. They were maybe paying more attention to that sub. Holly Hine didn't get to that ball, and it just bounced past McLeod.
So after the substitution with Noyola coming in, the Thorns strike quickly in the 23rd minute. It is Long with her first goal of the season. Long scored 3 goals last year. She started all 22 games, one of the enforcers for the Thorns in the middle of the field. This is Oakes trying to get it back. It'll be a goal kick. No, switch it up, a corner kick. Not too many complaints from the Thorns defense. Now we get to see what the Dash play like when they're back on their heels.
We saw that in College Station against Texas A&M. They went down early and came back and scored 3 unanswered goals.
Already the 5th corner for the Dash. Washington sends it in, and Strong Anger, the goalkeeper, comes down with it.
Anger gets a lot of notoriety for her penalty kick stops, but Paul Riley has talked about she's just such a great professional and tremendous with her feet.
Well, the first goal in regular season play for the Houston Dash comes from the opposing Portland Thorns. McDonald fouling Becky Edwards. Comes in the 23rd minute. Ali Long with a header clear, wide open in the penalty area. McLeod, the captain, 94 Canadian caps at the international level. Niemek, and it's headed out of bounds by Romero. And now we've seen Romero come to the left side, Washington go to the right. Not only does Randy Waldrum like to do that with his defenders, he does it with the forwards as well.
Lots of switching fields, and hopefully it'll pay off.
Ohai has it taken away by Niemek. Back heel from Fairley. Lost out to Jackson. Jackson can't get it past Long. Far side for Moros. Kerr on the run. A nice slide tackle by Jackson out of bounds, and it was last touched by the Thorns. Nothing gets past the keeper, and that's why you should listen to the Keeper Notes Soccer Show every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560. For more info, go to keepernotes.com. Last touch by Ohale. Thorns leading 1-0, 26 minutes into the first contest of the 2014 season. After a hot 10-minute start for the Dash, we've seen things temper down just a bit. They are back to full strength after the substitution of Bach. Noyola came in for her. This is Noyola who takes it away right off the feet of Farley. Oakes for Noyola. Tried to find Ohio, it falls for Oaks. Oaks tripped up. Brooks took her down. A beautiful position for the dash to capitalize with what you'd think would be an attempt on target.
This has to be one of those set pieces Randy Waldrum was talking about. This is a great opportunity, and they have to take advantage.
Oaks with some nifty footwork for 5'8". Comes out of San Diego, California. Traded from the Washington Spirit to the Houston Dash. And as the wall sets up, it'll be Noyola, who just inserted into the game, will take the free kick. Here goes Noyola with a shot, and it's begging left. Anger with a quick goal kick. So the first set piece within 25 yards is not on target, and really Noyola should have done a lot better job with that.
And she's known for her free kicks. She scored an amazing come-from-behind game winner against Mexico in February from a very similar position. So she's got it in her to make that fine net.
She played at Stanford from 2008-2011. Does have World Cup experience. Let's see if Noyola can get another shot maybe later in this match. A throw into nobody and to the arms of Angerer.
And Noyola had faced Randy Waldrum's Notre Dame squad in the College Cup.
Well, Randy Waldrum, the head coach and two-time NCAA champion at Notre Dame. Played onto the outside by Oaks. This is Washington on the run. Washington with that speed moving down. Trying to cross it in. Long knocks it out. Good defense by the Thorns, but it's another corner. The sixth already. You'd think with 6 corners already, one of these has to go in eventually.
It's a numbers game. You keep trying, you'll eventually find out.
Do they go short possibly to switch it up?
It looks like they're going short on this one.
Well, they bring 2 players over. That's Ohio and Noyola. And they go to Noyola. A little bit better angle. Fired in. Anger with a punch. Nasser was there to put it in the net. Just not quite enough height on it. 5'5". Anger at 5'9". Got that fist over the top of her head and punched it clear. So the next threat goes begging.
Nice bended ball from Noyola.
Inside the 31st minute, it is Portland 1, Dash 0. Ball sent in again, this time a harder challenge by Jackson, but a foul is called against her. Anger getting a workout in the goal area. She's been knocked down twice now.
Free kick from deep. Masters' head is almost on it, but Anger gets her hands there first.
You can't go up against a goalkeeper in midair like that. They're always going to be protected. That's just something that's written in the rule book. Quick foul against Edwards. It'll be the Thorns playing the quick one. Niemek tried to look for McDonald, and it's clear high and wide by Holly Hine, who's battled back from an ACL injury, and she also had thyroid cancer that she overcame 2010, 2011. Sinclair, long, tried to toss it in, touched by Fairley, and then cleared wide. We haven't seen much of Sinclair since we last talked about her, maybe in the 10th, 15th minute. This is Ohio on the run. And wisely played back to the keeper. So yeah, Anger and Mingus on the same page with that. This is Kerr. Trying to loft it for Sinclair. Washington will go all the way back to McLeod. Sinclair might be wishing that she had Alex Morgan to take some of the notoriety away from her right now. Alex Morgan out with that ankle injury.
Yeah, she's got all the burden on her shoulders right now, but I think she's used to that. She's been, you know, the leader for Canada for so long, scoring 148 international goals.
I tell you, Sinclair, well, she had so many goals that it set a record in the NCAA, 39 of them in 2005 in a single season. That's incredible.
And at the end of that season, she won the NCAA title for the second time with Portland at none other than College Station's Field.
And a two-time Herman Award winner, which is the top honor that is given away to the top collegiate player in soccer. Long, the goal scorer. Niemiec trying to find Sinclair. They're trying to get her on the ball any way possible. The Dash are doing an excellent job of trapping her.
I think that's one of the things they had no question about preparing for this game was you have to shut down Sinclair.
Noyola has it poked away.
Speaking of the Mac Herman Trophy, Noyola also won the trophy in 2011.
The road to Brazil starts here. Join us at BBVA Compass Stadium as Honduras takes on Israel Sunday, June 1st. Tickets starting at $30. Log on to bbvacompassstadium.com today. Masser on the move. Inside. Ojai trying to set up a right foot. Romero sends it in and headed clear. Many Thorns fans thought it was a foul. Play on allowed by our referee. The white shirts have it. Niemiec to Long. And Sinclair, who's now dropped back into a midfielder role to just try and get more touches on it. Mishit by Brooks. Falls in the lap of Fairley. This is Mingus. Mingus doing too much dribbling, and she goes all the way back to Angerer.
Portland's got two rookies on their back line, and I think they've gotten their jitters out. I think they're settling down and finding a good rhythm.
Niemiec with the throw-in. Headed high by Edwards. Hine. Washington. Couldn't quite bring it down, but Oakes is on it. This is Hine. Washington. And left in the middle for Oakes. Sent through. Masser, she's free. It's sprung. Although the flag is raised. Offside is the call. It looked pretty. It looked smart.
Pinpoint through ball, but she was just a couple steps offside.
That's the first call against either side. Well, the goal came from Ali Long on a header after the substitution that took out Brittany Bach, brought in Teresa Noyola. The Dash caught sleeping back in the 24th minute of the match. Romero knocks it ahead for Oakes. To the near side, Niemiec. And with nobody up front, Hine can take some time getting to this one.
Hine's wearing the same number she wore in college. And the year she spent out being sick, her teammates took turns wearing that number in her honor.
Well, not only is this a night of first for the Dash players, but the fans as well, trying to start this Houston Dash chant. One of the many traditions they're trying to incorporate for the orange and blue. And I say blue because their away kits are sky blue. Dash will be on the road for their next two contests. They're back home on May 3rd. Dynamo 5-star packs are now on sale. Don't miss the biggest matchups of the Dynamo season when the Galaxy, Sporting KC, the Red Bulls, Toronto FC, and DC United visit BBVA Compass Stadium. Visit HoustonDynamo.com or call 713-276-GOAL to purchase yours today. This is Fairley. with a bad pass to the near side. Only one lapse of judgment so far for the back line. That's been makeshift since 4 of the opposed starters are not here. This is Ojai. Off the back of Marshall, falls for Masser, touches too tall. Running into a wall of orange jerseys, Amber Brooks gives it up. Niemiec off the feet of Oaks. This is Jackson now for the orange. Clearance off the back of Jordan Jackson by Niemiec. Niemiec, who was signed on April 9th, comes out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and LaSalle of the Atlantic 10 Conference. This is Kerr on the run. One-on-one with Ohele to Sinclair. Long is sprung at the top. Long, one-on-one with Romero. This is Long on the right foot. Shots blocked. And Ohale comes in to clean it up. And Ohale went down. Referee yells play on. Noyola to Romero. Masser has it taken off her feet. And then Angerer plays it out. It's the only thing she could do with it, but the Dasher pressing here late. We've only got 6 minutes left before stoppage time. Noyola on the left foot. Pass it into nobody. Last 10 minutes, we like to see the Dash try and press here.
An equalizer in the last few minutes would do a lot for their confidence going into the locker room at halftime.
Well, you'd surely think that under the tutelage of head coach Randy Waldrum, somebody who has the pedigree like he does out of Texas, coming from Tulsa and Baylor and Notre Dame, where he's had winning records everywhere he's gone, they'd surely be capable of that. Ojai on her right foot, has it poked out of bounds. More good defense. The Rugby boys are back in town. The U.S. men's national rugby team take on the Scottish Rugby Union here at BBVA Compass Stadium Saturday, June 7th. Tickets start at $20. Get your tickets now at bbvacompassstadium.com. The 7th corner of the match, Jim. Is it lucky number 7? Sent in and headed clear by Sinclair. The forward dropping back into a defensive position. Oaks will try with her left foot, and this time sent well wide by Niemiec. Edwards on the right foot. They're just peppering the area now with crosses, but they're to nobody.
You can see that sense of urgency, but it's kind of overtaking their calm, accurate side.
Well, there's still a whole nother half left to play, and you can be sure that part of that halftime talk will be from head coach Randy Waldrum about slowing the game down a little bit. Oh, a hard cross from Marshall into her center back, and nicely controlled by Mingus. I tell you, Mingus had a lot to do with that one coming up near her head on the back line. Four minutes and some change left to go before we reach halftime. I tell you, the grounds of BBVA Compass Stadium have not quieted since the opening whistle. Well, started just a tad late of our advertised time because of all the pageantry going down. They've declared it Dash Day in the city of Houston. This is Noyola. Played out left, Oaks. Oaks with a step over on the left foot, tries for goal. Might have been better served of sending that one into the area for a chance of Masser or Ojai. A striker's mentality, though.
She wants that first Dash goal.
Well, put your names in the record book. at Washington. Sees an inside track. Masser. 4 orange jerseys on the top side of the field, only 2 white ones sent in. And again, headed clear. Mingus there to make sure it didn't get through. And now it's Long for the Thorns. Long to Sinclair. Glued to her feet, comes wide. Niemiec to Kerr. Kerr into the middle. Passed off by Farley. Sinclair looking for McDonald, and there was a foul. Call a handball on the dash. Well, the crowd doesn't like it. Was it a handball?
Right on the edge of the box, thankfully not inside the box. Number 21, Holly Hine.
She just stuck out that right arm, it looked like, and extended it from her body, which makes her body bigger. If she had cut that tucked in, might have been a different story. There are 3 white jerseys standing over it. You've got Sinclair, Long, Brooks. It'll be Sinclair. And it was a poor free kick. Play's not dead yet. This is Marshall, the defender, dropping it back. Niemiec, and the cross it in. McLeod can watch it sail high onto her netting. Not the kind of free kick you'd like to see if you're Paul Riley and the Thorns with a chance to go up 2-0.
And not the kind of free kick you would expect from Christine Sinclair.
She just sent that one right into the wall.
It's the orange. She couldn't help but kick it into the orange.
Just a minute left before we reach stoppage time. Don't quite have yet what that will be. Anger with a left-footed clearance. This is Moros. Has it taken away. Oakes trying to battle one-on-one with Mingus, who had to come back and help. It'll be a throw-in for the Thorns. We expected some scoring with a team coming in that was one of the tops in the NWSL last year in Portland Thorns FC. And the dash with the heightened adrenaline, wanting to get on the board first as well. It didn't happen. It was Long in the 24th minute.
But both of these teams have very young back lines, and Portland is a very different roster than they were in 2013. So I think it's good for both of them to just get this first half under their belts and settle down and figure out how they want to control this game.
A minimum of 3 minutes stated inside the grounds here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Headed on by McDonald, clear by Ohale. And it's out of bounds for a corner kick. Well, the Thorns haven't had too many of those tonight. It'll be Long, the goal scorer, going over to take this one from the circle. Could be the last play of the half. She sends it in low, line drive shot, and poked clear by the dash. This is Kerr. The Thorns will get another opportunity. Sinclair can't get ahead to it. Masser sends it forward. And I think you can say most of the players just waiting for the whistle at this point to take them into the locker rooms. This is Farley. All the way back and taken away by Edwards. We'll send it long for Oakes. She's in. Bad touch with her left foot. Couldn't quite set her up for that shot. It would have had to have been a spectacular one as well.
It's a nice chip from Edwards, and Oak stayed on side, but just didn't have a good touch on it to settle and shoot.
Well, perhaps the Dash get the final say of the first half as we near halftime. 3 allotted minutes was the minimum. Sent wide for Long. Long keeps it away from Jackson. Kerr open in the middle. Kerr with a pass out wide. Farley on the runner. Sends it in with the right foot. Edwards is there to sniff it out. Now Washington can clear it for Oaks. Oaks with a little too much dribbling. Washington slides in. Farley wins out. Left off for Kerr. Trying to dribble through. Falls to the feet of Long. Long still going with a shot. Saved by McLeod. Back to Sinclair. And the left-footed half volley is nowhere close. And the dash save face before we reach halftime.
Critical save by McLeod. She's diving to her right, but she still gets her foot on it, keeps it clear. Sinclair has a touch, but skies it over to the left.
The whistle's blown for halftime. Jen Cooper, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think we were treated to a great first 10 minutes. Very high pressure from the dash, showing how eager they are to get the ball in the back of the net. We know that Randy Waldrum likes an attacking team, but the injuries to Brittany Bach and Ohio, that's going to be a challenge.
Halftime coming up with the Dash trailing 1-0 to the Thorns.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Who's done just about anything else. Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
I don't think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage and Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, a noite passada, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo. Ficou...
Our halftime score, Portland Thorns FC 1, Houston Dash 0. We've got 45 left to play, though. Lane's even joined by the keeper, Jen Cooper. Jen, it was a torrid first half at the start for Houston Dash, but the Thorns struck first. Why is that?
Well, I think the change, losing Brittany Bach to an injury and bringing in Noyola, kind of caught the team off guard. I think they were just a little asleep when the sub was made, and Portland took advantage.
Let's take a look at some of these highlights from the first half that involved heavily with the Portland Thorns first and the Houston Dash second. And well, the Thorns really jumped out, not from set pieces, but in play. And some of their shots forced Erin McLeod to move all over the place, even though we didn't call her name until about 20 minutes in. The defense did a good job clearing, and as we see McLeod get on the ball, the goal didn't come until the 24th minute.
Right, and the Portland Thorns hadn't been down at that end of the field very much, but that sub was huge. We lost focus, and they put the ball in the back of the net while we weren't watching.
And the dash on set pieces had plenty of them. 6 corners in the first half, 2 set pieces from right in front of the goal.
And Randy Waldrum said before the game the key is going to be the dead balls and the set pieces. We just haven't been able to take advantage yet.
Jordan Jackson had the 2 best chances. The first was a header. The second was that half volley. We'd like to see some of those put on target this second time around, wouldn't you think?
I think that's going to happen in the second half. Now they've got one half under their belts with, the full team playing against NWSL competition. If they can settle down, they can find net.
That was the last shot of the half by Long, the goal scorer, before McLeod had to make really the most important save so far of the match. These are the first half stats with the shots in favor of the Dash, 5-4, and the fouls in favor of Portland, 6-4. We knew that was going to be one of the stats.
Well, and Allie Long, the goal scorer, actually committed the most fouls for Portland last year, and she even got a yellow in this half, so no, we're not surprised.
Oh, there's still a lot more to come. Stick with us with the Thorns leading the Dash 1-0 at the break. Second half on the horizon.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Who's done just about anything else? Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hi there, this is Tally Hall, and I'm joined by Michael Bingham and Clayton Harris from the Houston Fire Department soccer team, and Al Rivera from the Houston Police Department soccer team. We wanted to give you a heads up about the second annual Guns and Hoses match for charity. This year's match will take place on April 27th, immediately following our game versus Portland Timbers. Houston's police and fire departments place their lives on the line every day, and this is our chance to give back in a small way. A portion of the proceeds from each ticket purchased for this match will benefit both Assist the Officer and Firefighters Helping Firefighters.
Firefighters Helping Firefighters has been extremely helpful assisting families struggling following a major injury.
Firefighters Helping Firefighters. It's started by firemen and run by firemen.
Assist the Officer is an organization dedicated to help Houston police officers and their families in a time of need. Come and support our Houston Dynamo and stick around for the game.
To order your tickets for this year's Guns and Hoses match, please go to www.houstondynamo.com/gunsandhoses. I can't wait to see you all at BBVA Compass Stadium on April 27th as we battle Portland, followed by this season's Guns and Hoses Showdown.
At the half, it is Portland Thorns 1, Houston Dash 0 inside BBVA Compass Stadium. Lane Zeben, Jen Cooper, joined by President of the Dynamo and now the Dash, Chris Canetti. Chris, how have you liked being in Houston in your 9 seasons and now seen it evolve to what we have today on the pitch?
Yeah, well, thanks, Lane. This is a special night tonight to see the Dash come together. Just 4 months ago, we announced the team, and we've come a long way in a short period, and the first 45 minutes have been outstanding. So, after being here for so long, this is a great addition to what we've been doing over the years.
Well, Chris, what do you think the most important thing you did was the thing that convinced NWSL that expansion was possible for 2014?
Well, I think the most important thing was what we've done here in Houston as an organization over the years, and the resources and assets that we have available. The stadium, the training complex, the fan base, the front office. I think all the things that we're able to bring to the table on such a professional level were enticing, and I think tonight is proof that we can pull all that stuff together and make it work on a very major league level.
And what do you think has been the most challenging aspect of throwing this team together in 4 months?
Well, the most challenging thing is trying to get the brand out and build it and make the connection with people. And I think, again, we've only had the players in market for 5-6 weeks now, but you can see as they start to get out and connect with the players and in the youth community that something strong is building here, and we're off to a great start.
We have a video to show you as well that this team put together that's excellent, that shows the history of what has happened here with the Dash.
So introducing the Houston Dash.
We are a place where soccer is taking off for boys and girls, and to be able to have women playing professional soccer here in a beautiful stadium is going to exponentially increase the interest for our kids to be engaged in sports at all levels, but particularly support soccer.
To have a professional league that is sustainable, that is moving forward, will provide for years to come little girls in this community to grow up, to emulate those players that they're going to see when they come out to be a part of a professional team.
Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Dash's new head coach, Randy Waldron.
This organization and what it stands for is what sold me on making this move.
The 7th selection will take Ariana Romero from Seattle. We'll take Gabriela Toulouse from DC.
Brittany, hey, are you ready to put some orange on? All right.
Coming to Houston, which is like my favorite place in the world, and being with my brother-in-law and my sister, it's incredible.
The support from Houston, the whole city, and then a lot of Dynamo fans, that they're going to both. They love the fact, they're like, we love that we have women here playing, and I think that's exciting for a whole different group of people here in the Houston area. And so we are excited to put a good product on the field.
Give me a shot at the night. I feel like I'm losing the fight. Give me a shot at the night. Some kind of mysterious. Give me a shot at the night. Give me a moment. Some kind of mysterious. Give me a shot at the night. Give me a moment. Some kind of mysterious.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live only on Comcast Sportsnet.
anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage and Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, a noite passada, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo. Ficou...
BBVA Compass Stadium, how about all the action that we've had so far in this first half? We get ready to start the second half, and Lane Zeben, joined by Jen Cooper and our executive director of the NWSL, Cheryl Bailey. Cheryl, thanks for joining us upstairs. What have you thought so far about the city of Houston and their embracing of the NWSL and the Houston Dash?
What a great atmosphere. What's fun for me, last year I had a chance to go to several openings and experience a city embracing their team, and this year this is just as good as anything we've been to, so they've done a great job.
Cheryl, what convinced you and the league to go ahead with expansion for 2014?
You know, it wasn't the highest thing on our list last year, to be honest with you. We weren't necessarily actively looking. However, when Houston expressed an interest and we knew what this city could do and what the MLS team had done in the past, clearly it was a no-brainer to say if there's a team we want to embrace, it's going to be a team like Houston that has support behind them, the infrastructure, but also a lot of community support as well.
Do you think we'll see more MLS teams kind of reaching out to NWSL and saying, tell me more about this?
You know, there are several different groups that have expressed an interest in coming into the NWSL with a team. Some MLS, some not. So I think we have to look at the scope of, you know, expansion generally, and then specifically what types of markets we want to go into next.
We're so glad you could make it tonight. It's a great day for Houston and of course for the league to see the second season with all the owners being the same and seeing an expansion team, and the other two leagues just couldn't say that.
You know, that's what we were looking for, that stability. You want to see this league grow, but to grow, you got to get good roots. And the roots are that you have teams coming back year after year, and then you add to that mix. And I think it's exciting that we've been able to do that in year 2.
Cheryl, the weather hasn't deterred you at all, has it? Even though it's so humid outside. I know you and I were talking that this is the first time you've been out of gloves and a hat.
Honestly, Monday I was walking to work in a hat and gloves in Chicago, so this is fabulous weather. I will be back.
Thanks for joining us on the broadcast, and we look forward to great action throughout the rest of the season in the NWSL.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be here in Houston.
Cheryl Bailey, the executive director of the National Women's Soccer League, joining us right before we get started here in the second half. Portland Thorns FC leading Houston Dash 1-0. Ali Long in the 24th minute. Jen, you and I now solo here on the broadcast. What do we expect for the start of the second half? The same kind of fire that we saw with Noyola now in instead of Brittany Bach?
I don't think we're going to see exactly the same kind of fire. I don't think Noyola is quite the enforcer that Brittany Bach is. She brings I'd see a different level of finesse to the game. But now that the team has played that second part of the first half with Noyola in the middle, I think they're ready to settle down and finish their chances.
It'll be the Thorns moving from right to left in the white. And the Dash, pardon me, the Thorns going from right to left. The Dash moving from left to right. Just the one substitution for the Dash so far. Same starting 11 out there for the Thorns. And Anger being told to move her towel back behind the goal. Is off to the side. a very precise, detailed-oriented game.
And I wonder if the ref was able to communicate that in German hand signals. Though I'm sure Nadine's English is pretty good after spending some time in the Australian W League.
This is Romero in the corner, and McDonald knocks it out of play. Ari Romero stands 5'3". O'Hale, who just got signed a couple of days ago, Holly Hine right there with her, and Nikki Washington, who is expected to come in and help off the bench, are making up for the missing back line of Whitney Ingen, Megan Kliningberg, Lauren Sesselman, and Aya Semishima. 2 out with injuries, 2 with the United States national team. Also playing with their European club in Sweden.
Yeah, they've got their Women's Champions League semifinals coming up next week.
This is Hine, played it back for McLeod, and she could only go near side to the touchline with Sinclair bearing down. What do we need to see more out of Sinclair as this quick throw-in is taken?
Sinclair has to break past this very young defense, and I think she needs to be fed better by her midfield.
Well, Sinclair, the 30-year-old out of British Columbia. This is Ohai sending it for Oaks. Not quite strong enough as Menges closes it down and sends it out of touch. It was long with the score in the 24th minute. We've had 1 yellow card as well. That was given to the Thorns. Allie Long picked it up. Keep up with Keeper Notes to stay in touch with all the latest women's soccer news on Facebook, Twitter, and at KeeperNotes.com. You better keep her notes. Anger with the goal kick.
I'm not surprised we haven't seen any subs yet in this match other than the ones due to injury, when both of these teams have barely enough to fill the bench. Portland's only got 4 subs on their bench.
Well, you're thinking the Dash maybe should have made a change up top. They haven't had too many shots on target from their forwards. It's been Jordan Jackson who's put the 2 only near the area, near the goalkeeper. That was on a header on the first attempt by the Dash, and then a half volley that went over the crossbar. Sinclair trying to hit the sideline. Cross comes in and floats through to Kerr. Taken right off the top of her foot. Jackson. This is Farley. Over the middle for Long. To the outside for Niemiec. Back to Long, who puts a shot on target. Side netting though is all she can find. They're letting Long roam free a little too much.
She was not a goal scorer last year, but it looks like she is this year. Top of the box, gets it right up to that top corner, but nope, hits the post, goes over. McLeod gets lucky on that one.
Long with that right foot, has already scored with her head earlier in the first half. No word on Brittany Bach yet. We hope it's nothing serious. She was taken off within the first 10 minutes. I should say within the first 20 minutes, right at that 20-minute mark. This is Long dribbling through, hitting the goal line, and it just may have crossed over. Called by our far side official. The assistant referee makes the call. It'll be a goal kick. Allie Long, she was the first free agent signing in 2013. Transferred to Penn State in 2006. Over to UNC 2007 to 2009. Played with Tobin Heath at UNC, her teammate, who is not here due to prior obligations with PSG. That's over in France. And this is Marshall, the center back. Cut back to her left. Niemiec out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ohale traps it. Moros to Niemiec. Moros again playing a 1-2. Sneaked into Allie Long. Calling for handball. Left-footed cross goes begging, and it's out over the touchline on the far side. You'd almost think with as many shots as Long has taken so far, that would have been another, but she went the unselfish route.
She was looking to find McDonald on the far right, but Holly Hine had that shut down.
And now it's up to Washington to try and clear it, but she knocks it over the baseline for a corner kick. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Portland still leading 1-0. And now we start to see some substitutions warming up for both sides. First, the Thorns corner. And it's on the ground short. All the way through for Brooks. She skied it. The one thing that the Thorns have not done well in this game, Jen, is set pieces and dead balls.
And that really surprises me, given the talent that they have. Christine Sinclair, who has scored great international goals off a free kick, but maybe that's what they have not been focusing on in preseason.
All played through. Somewhat of a lazy pass by Hine on the back line after she got it from McLeod. This is Kerr into the middle for Long. Tried to go through for Farrelly, and McLeod saves it from being a corner. Good awareness there by the Canadian.
It's tough for these teams with such a short preseason, and a lot of their players had international duty in March at the Algarve Cup or the Cyprus Cup. They might not get as much time playing together as they'd like. And most of their preseason competition is college competition.
I was going to say maybe next year it turns into a few tougher teams. Now that they've been entrenched in the city of Houston, they played Rice, Texas Tech, Texas A&M.
Houston Aces, and even the Dynamo Academy U16s.
Romero. Can't find her teammate. This is Farrelly sneaking it through to Kerr. Kerr on the run. 3v3. Trying to send Sinclair and headed wide by Ohale. Great defense there by the Nigerian. Osinachi Ohale played in the Nigerian Women's League with the River Angels through 2009 and with the Delta Queens from 2010 to 2012. One of the trialist signings. This ball's out of play. Want to win 2 tickets to the Houston Dash vs. FC Kansas City on May 3rd? Text PRIZE to 69050 for your chance to win.
Ohale was a core part of the defense for Nigeria in the 2011 Women's World Cup.
Now she's with the Dash, signed by the hair of her skinny chin chin today. They got her papers pushed through. This is Noyola trying to find Oaks, taken clear. Farrelly sends it wide. Niemiec running down the touchline. Blocked out of play by Washington. ...2014 season underway. Sky Blue FC, FC Kansas City also going on concurrently with our match. Boston Breakers and Seattle Reign FC, Western New York Flash and Washington Spirit will go at it tomorrow. The Chicago Red Stars have the bye with 9 teams. 1 team gets a bye each week.
As Cheryl was saying, you know, that it's still pretty cold in Chicago. They're probably happy to have that extra week of training.
Oaks with a nice swim move, trying to find Ojai. Pass just a touch too long. Now Ojai is sprightly, but that one I think she needed a treadmill to catch up with.
That's the kind of ball she loves, that one that just kind of pokes through the defense. But yeah, it was a couple steps ahead of her. Nice ball from the back, but just, yeah, little too much pace. Unger has no problem controlling that.
Farley on the opposite side. Ohale in there again. And instead of moving forward, Ohale will hang back and get the ricochet off Moros. Oaks. Oh, not keeping her head quite as high as Coach Waldron would like. And the throw-in comes quickly by Moros, but not so fast. It is a dash throw-in.
It's interesting that Moros is listed as a defender in the Portland media guide, but she's playing much more of a midfield role today, as Riley went with a 3-4-3.
Ball sent forward, and again Sinclair Not quite quick enough to catch up with it. With chances far and few between, Jen, you'd expect that if this holds out through the next 20 minutes or so towards the end, the Dash are going to have to sacrifice a defender or a midfielder for another forward.
That's true. They might want to crowd that midfield to just put all the pressure up top. If you can't get the 3 points, you want to at least salvage and get the 1.
3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss. And they add up through the 24 games at the end of the season. Ohale heads it out of play for a corner kick. It'll be the Thorns' second. Their first of this second half.
It's a pretty short season. Just 24 games, 12 at home, 12 away, so every game matters in those final standings.
Well, last year there was a 3-way tie for first. The Thorns just ended up with the short end of the stick. Comes in from long and all the way through. That was Farley coming in hot and fast, and she missed it completely. It'll be a Dash throw-in on the far side. The team that finished first in this league last year was the Western New York Flash, 38 points. They only had 10 wins, though. The Thorns and FC Kansas City each finished on 11 wins. Jen, you'd expect that with the team making the playoffs last year, getting 38 points, you might need 40 points to clinch your spot in the playoffs this year.
I think it's going to be much closer among the 9 teams this year, as the ones that ended up at the bottom have kind of figured out what they're doing now. But I think you're still going to see the same 4 or 5 at the top. Looks like Lindsay Elston might be coming on. She's at the 4th officials table.
Very well could be our second substitution for the Dash. They're looking for a spark. We haven't seen it through the first 10 minutes of this second half with the Thorns still up 1-0. Cross comes in and just a bit behind McDonald. Sinclair couldn't clean it up. To Moros, back to Sinclair. Sinclair again. A 1-2 with Moros, and the back heel, though nifty. Masser was right there the entirety of the way. And here comes that substitution.
Looks like she's coming in for Ojai, probably due to Ojai's slight injury in the first half.
So Lindsay Elston out of McMurray, Pennsylvania, played with the University of Washington and just graduated in 2013. She had 11 goals last year. She is a forward. She'll be taking over, as Jen said, for Ojai.
And she was one of the 4 trialists that were signed this week. She had a goal and an assist in the preseason.
Coming in the 59th minute, the second substitution. Sent long by Noyola. Moros in a battle with Oakes and Elston. Elston trying to win out, almost takes it off Mingus. And they go far side for Niemiec. Courtney Niemiec. Passes it forward, McDonald. The Arizona native sends in a beautiful ball. Sinclair can't get on it, left-footed shot comes in on the backside. Guess who again? Allie Long forcing another great save from McLeod.
Ball comes across the middle alley, gets a great shot on it, good angle, but McLeod's there, bats it away. No problem.
Oh, that looked like it was probably going in too if McLeod doesn't get a hand on it.
That shot was on target.
And it forces another corner kick.
Looks like it could be short.
Long ready to pass it off to Farley. Back to Long, through, snuck through the legs, and cleared high and wide by Becky Edwards. A left-footed shot from Moros skips in on one hop, but McLeod with sure hands.
She's pushing those orange jerseys up, telling everybody where they should be.
There's that left-footed shot from Moros that skipped in, which is usually dangerous for a goalkeeper if the surface is slick enough.
Well, Randy Waldrum said last week after the game that he felt this surface was just a little bit slower than what they're used to from their practice field at Houston Sports Park. And of course, no rain tonight, so that helps.
Well, the humidity is high, though. The sun has set. Near perfect night for soccer in Houston, Texas. This is Elston. Elston taking it herself, looking for the pass, far side. Romero with a right-footed crossing, up for the header. Elston can't get there. Falls to the feet of Jackson. She'll take it all the way back to Hine. Ohale and Romero sends it in. Not to a particular person, was hoping an orange jersey would get on the end of it. Slide tackle from Hine, takes it off the feet of McDonald. But this is Sinclair. And Ohale is there again. And Edwards will send it all the way back to the keeper. Possession key for the Dash right now with only 30 minutes left to play.
Even with all the talk about Sinclair staying up top and not being the attacking midfielder, it still seems like she's slotting back to be that tonight. It seems like she's passing off more to her teammates than taking shots on goal.
And the Dash have not taken a shot on target yet. They're still stuck at 5 for the match, while the Thorns have tallied 3 in the second half. They now have taken the lead with 7. 4 of them on target, the Dash without one. Jackson skied the crossbar twice. And this is Long, the goal scorer. And she's taken down from behind by Jackson. And Jackson better watch herself. I think the referee talking things over with her. You can accrue fouls and get a yellow card that way as well. Jackson, the Big Ten midfielder of the year at Nebraska from 2009 to 2013. Showing her physicality. McLeod will collect this one. Romero on the quick outlet pass. This is Elston. And Elston gives it up. Turnover of possession. Long looking for a left foot. Cuts it back to the right. And Edwards is there to fall on top of it. If not, do whatever it takes to get it out of the area. Oh, bad pass given up in the middle by Mingus. And the Dash can strike. Masser on the run. One-on-one, Mingus trying to make up ground. And Masser's touch again, too long for her. She's showing the effects. For all your updates on Houston Dynamo, Houston Dash, TSU football, and more, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BBVA Compass TDM. And the officials are stopping play here for Sinclair on the Thorns. She appears all right. Tenderly walking around near midfield as Anger is about to deliver this. Well, Masser underneath it, trying to get ahead to it. Sandwiched in between 2 white jerseys. Jen Masser with a brilliant opportunity, gave it away again. That's 2 now. And Elston fouling Niemiec from behind. That was Oakes. And Oakes getting called for the foul.
And the crowd does not like that. But she did not have a touch on ball. That was her coming from behind.
Well, this is Edwards to Washington. Washington likes going down that touchline at speed. We touched on it in the exhibition against the Houston Aces, how these fullbacks like to get forward, and they might have to do that a little bit more. Still trailing 1-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an assist from Ari Romero. She had 2 in the preseason, and we've talked about it several times. She likes to get up those flanks.
Run through taken away by Nikki Marshall. Another throw in for the Dash. 65th minute. Jackson gives it up to Oakes. Tried to put it on her right foot, has it taken away. Wants to get it back from Amber Brooks, who's got 1 USA cap Came last year against Brazil.
She's a big part of the future for the U.S. women's national team. She's one of the many players that NWSL identified as wanting them to come back to be part of the league, especially as we're leading up to a Women's World Cup year.
This is the foul on Washington. Just touched, nicked a little bit by McDonald. The USA women's national team having that game against China a couple of nights ago that they won 3-0. Let's see if they can get something out of this set piece. Romero will send it in. Sinclair with a header. Kerr pokes it wide. Kerr to Sinclair. And McDonald was well offside, had to hold up on her run. Wouldn't be able to get to that one anyway. Cloud off her line. Well, a nice rhythm so far. We've got about 25 minutes left and some change to play, Jen. Don't you think maybe the Dasher opt to pick it up here pretty soon?
They've got to pick up the pace, and that's one of the things Randy Waldron noted last weekend with the preseason game, that he wanted the pace to be faster. Even with 7 goals, he wanted the pace to be faster.
Oakes, hands on hips. She's been all over the place tonight. Oakes in 22 games last year. Just scored 1 time with the Washington Spirit. We're getting ready for a daunting throw-in coming from the far side. It'll be Masser. Oakes gets the head on it. It's a free ball in the middle. Nobody on the back post, though, for the Dash. The Thorns can counter. Moros gets past Edwards. Tries to find Kerr, and Romero's there for the stop to hold play up. Mingus gives it away. And Edwards goes outside. This will be Holly High. California native to the outside from Masser, who's now playing on the left wing. And Jackson. Masser, typically your holding forward who plays in the middle of the pitch, but it hasn't worked out tonight.
Well, and as we saw in preseason, she will play wherever she's needed on the field.
Romero sends it in. Oakes trying to get there. And again, the Thorns clear. And it's not that the Dash aren't knocking on the door. They haven't put a shot on target yet, but they're sneaking into that area, 1 offensive possession at a time. And Noyola, nice move inside. Oakes can send one in on the ground. It was deflected out of play. It'll be a corner kick. Brilliant 1-2 play from the midfielder to the forward.
And that's what Noel is known for, is that great feed. Nice feed to Oakes, hits it just wide.
Well, the fans will certainly let them know they're awaiting the first goal of Dash history. And already the 7th corner for Houston Dash, and they'll play it up top. This is Edwards to send it in with a shot. Amber Brooks in the way. It's quite a hopeful look when you come that far out and try a volley from about 25 yards. So Washington this time will send it in. It hasn't worked quite yet. A low line drive off the head of Jackson, and Kerr will clear. Our first substitution coming for Portland Thorns FC. Sarah Huffman coming onto the pitch. She'll replace Jessica McDonald in the 70th minute. The 30-year-old from Danbury, Connecticut at the University of Virginia. Masser ready for another long throw-in. Backed up all the way to the barrier where the fans rest. Lofted in high. Oaks trying to on, and again cleared by Moros. Romero keeps it on this half of the pitch. And McLeod all the way out. Trying to find Masser. Jackson. Elston runs into Masser. Noyola has it knocked away, falls to the feet of Oaks. And Elston. Left-footed cross in, Masser's there! Flag is up. Might have been a touch too long for the 5'5", 28-year-old. Now offside is called as Masser put it in the back of the net, but claiming she can't hear the whistle.
It's because the fans are just that loud. They are into it tonight. And they want that first dash goal.
This is Moros sending it long, trying for Sinclair. Ohale. The 1-2 with Edwards. Played high and given away. Bad pass. Ali Long. Sinclair with a touch on. Fairley to Sinclair and taken away by Washington. Long looking to switch field. Huffman's first touch. The forward. Wants a shot. Blocked by Romero. Back to the feet of Huffman. Moros to the byline. Not there. And again, Ohale on the clearance.
Ohale is not afraid to settle that ball under pressure.
Dash on over to KeeperNotes.com every Monday afternoon for the latest episode of the Keeper Notes Women's Soccer Podcast. Jen Cooper hosts it. NWSL Houston Dash action and all aspects of North American women's soccer. Kerr in the middle. Oh, bad touch by Fairley. Lucky enough to get it back from her teammates. Kerr comes wide for Huffman. Huffman again has the cross blocked. All 5-3 of Romero doing her job on the outside. It falls on the back post, and Kerr had to try a spectacular volley. Couldn't get it on target. Another goal kick. 74th minute. Portland still leading 1-0. Dash running out of time. Ohale trying to find an open player and instead sends it long. So Masser is going to hustle for it. Moros back to the keeper. And Masser's still there. Oh, comes in with a hard slide on the goalkeeper, and Anger's not happy about it. Should be a card, and it is.
Hard late tackle from Masser. Anger has every reason to be angry.
Second yellow of the game, first to a Dash player, and it was Masser's trailing foot that came in there. That took out the standing leg of Anger, and you know as a keeper, that'll make you unhappy quickly.
And the ref is always going to protect the keeper.
Now, we talked about it already in this broadcast before. Anger has hit the deck now 4 times.
We're just trying to make sure she's awake after that flight from Germany.
Anger given the Best Player of the Year award in FIFA 2013. Highly deserving of it.
First goalkeeper to ever win that award.
She She is impressive. Her first year here in the NWSL. A second substitution coming in for the Thorns. It'll be Kerr taking a seat. So with Kerr heading to the bench, Meliana Shim, who was actually drafted by the Houston Dash in that expansion draft, was just given right back. They wanted Becky Edwards instead. They wanted Nikki Washington instead, so they give Shim right back.
Shim was a huge fan favorite in Portland last year. She made the team through an open tryout, not through a draft or any allocation. Ended up scoring 5 goals in the season, including four consecutive games scoring a goal.
Hails from Hawaii. Is an American. Back through. Oaks with a left-footed shot. Where was she going with that?
Right in front of goal, no one in front of her, but she leans back and the ball goes over. She needs to get those shoulders over the ball.
Emily Mingus was the one who closed down quickly from behind. It was Moros traveling from her side. And another golden opportunity for the Dash. Played forward ahead. It'll be Dash ball. Well, 3 shots in this second half finally from Houston, but still just one of them on target, the 4 for the Thorns. And so far in the second half, it's been fairly even between both sides, where in the first half it might have been a little bit more slanted towards the Dash, even though they trail by 1-0.
And it looks like we've got the Dash's 3rd sub coming up, Tiffany McCarty, second-year NWSL player. We picked her up in the expansion draft from the Washington Spirit.
This is Shim on her left foot to Huffman. Huffman sends it in, and what turns out to be an easy save in the end for McLeod. Nobody in the area to challenge her. And here comes that substitution. Tiffany McCarty coming in. Substitution as McCarty checks in. 8,097 in attendance tonight for the opening match of the 2014 season for Houston Dash.
That's a great number to see, considering originally they weren't going to open more than the lower bowl.
And we
So
hope
that's
they
1,000 more.
We hope they can build on it too. So now 2 forwards have been switched out, Ojai and Oaks. Elston and McCarty now on. McCarty out of Florida State and Laurel, Maryland. Native to the Northeast. Let's see if the change in strikers can bring a change to this game. The Dash still trailing 1-0. It's coming down to crunch time as well. This is McCarty's first touch. Can't quite get there. And Huffman knocks it long. Ohale there to stand in her way. Off the head of Niemek. Taken out from the feet of Washington. This is Edwards. Edwards long. Right-footed shot comes in and easily taken by Angerer. This is Long to the outside for Moros. To Long. Pass snuck through again, and McCarty takes a little too long. Ten minutes left. Barring extra time, Dash still trail 1-0. Huffman on the outside. Romero with a nice hard challenge. Romero, the 7th pick in the expansion draft. Big Ten Defender of the Year at Nebraska last year. Also a Mexican international. Starting to make waves up to the international squad.
And she was teammates with Jordan Jackson at Nebraska.
Just more familiarity for Randy Waldrum and this team. Still waiting for it to click. Noyola on the run, just poked away by Fairley. Long for Huffman. Bit of open space for Sinan with the left foot. Back post clearance from Washington. Huffman thought it would go out of play. Romero's there, hugging her tightly. And McCarty's back to help. Nasser brings it down, and it's Laskoff Mingus, even though it may have looked like it touched Masserlaff. Good sell job there from the 28-year-old. Last substitution for the Thorns. Jackie Acevedo making an appearance. Allocated from Mexico, actually played with the Houston Aces last year. Was in a few of the Dash camps to start the preseason, Jen, but alas, did not make the team.
She did make the All WPSL 11 last season and was a standout at Southern Nazarene in the NAIA after her freshman season at Tennessee. It's so great to see that after her time with the WPSL that she got that first senior cap with the Mexican national team in November.
Born in Austin, Texas, plays for the Mexican international squad. Ojale on the ball, trying to play it forward on a long run from Masser. Instead, it's McCarty sneaking through. The left foot goes up, and she just couldn't find a sweet connection. And the Thorns are bailed out yet again. And this is Sinclair showing some speed. The 30-year-old on her right foot. Far side. Huffman fakes the cross, cuts back to her left. The shot comes in. Nowhere near close. Tried to go near side on the post.
Huffman was just acquired by Portland this week in a big trade. Portland got Vero Boquets from Spain, the Spanish captain who hasn't joined the team yet, and Huffman in exchange for a draft pick and 2 players.
Well, 7 minutes remain and a little bit of extra time. Dash still trail 1-0. This is Edwards. Romero. Ojale. To Jackson. Masser. Masser with a touch inside. Long closing down. Masser gives it up to Romero. Romero outside. Elston, too long. Deep corner throw-in, though, for the Thorns. This is where the Dash can press. Both teams have used 3 substitutions.
And you know time's running out because now Randy Waldrum is standing up on the edge of his technical area.
Ball played through for McCarty. And the clearance out of bounds by Mingus. It'll be a throw-in for the Dash. Romero on it. And it's out of bounds. We're still waiting for that one breakthrough moment for the Dash. Edwards sends it in. Looking far post, headed forward by Jackson. Tell you, she really does a great job climbing in the air, Jackson, even though she stands 5'7". She's been in the midst of the majority of the offensive possessions for the Dash tonight and has had the 2 best chances. Oakes with the third. Oh, and this sneaks through. On the run, Huffman looking for the crossover. Washington closed her down. Jackson with a header clear. And Elston trying to poke it around Brooks. Under the outside. Huffman tried to juke around Washington. When do the Thorns start thinking hold the ball in the corner and just make sure the Dash don't get on it?
I'd say now. You don't need to risk pressuring so high that you leave yourself exposed in the back and we counter. And this Dash team is hungry. They're ready to do that.
It runs all the way through to Angerer, and she'll wait to pick it up until Masser charges her down.
I'd say the Dash has given Nadine Unger enough activity tonight that she shouldn't have any jet lag.
Wide awake on that keeper line. The Dash charging again. Sent through. McCarty on the run. And again, just a little too long. It's been the problem all night for the Dash.
A little too high and just a little too slow on the drop so that the keeper or the defender can get there in time.
Anger unhappy with herself after that clearance. Noyola trying to poke it ahead. Masser wanting to get underneath it. Clearance by Nikki Marshall. This is Brooks. Under the outside. Sinclair, who's been a non-factor in tonight's game as she hits the deck. Thorns will play on though as she rises to her feet. They'll come near side for Fairley.
Fairley might not be known by a lot of Houston fans, but she was a big part of Paul Riley's successful teams in Philadelphia in the WPS.
Ball is through. This is long, and it's touched from behind. Referee waves play on. Good escapism act there by Holly Hine to keep another goal from coming across for the Thorns. Noyola to the outside, and too much power on it yet again. She just hasn't found her crispest net. Washington hoping for a better ball from her teammate. Noyola back on it. This time it's to Washington's feet. Masser taken down from behind, but stays with it. To the outside, McCarty. And she's deep in the corner. Beats Niemiec, tries to go through the legs of Mingus. And it's cleared. Ends up only as far as Washington. Sends it in. Masser lets it run. Jackson with a shot. Open on the back post. Cleared wide. Nikki Marshall with a game-tying save to keep McCarty from scoring.
Jordan gets it across the mouth of goal, but McCarty just can't get there in time to finish it. And Nasser had a great little dummy before that.
In the 90th minute.
Fans on their feet.
Washington headers in and cleared by Sinclair. She'll have another chance. And again, Sinclair on the header. Romero will try and tap it back through. 2 minutes left to play, a stoppage time. Ball sent through for Sinclair, and she won't chase after that. Last dash hopes for the Houston Dash coming in the remaining minutes. Noyola. Elston on the turn. Elston with a right-footed shot, saved by Angerer. And it's out of play.
Good shot on target, but an easy one for Angerer to get her hands on and parry wide.
Sent back in by Romero. She gets it on the near side, and a foul touch knocks it out of play. Oh, the best opportunity for the Dash comes in the closing stages of the match. Foul against Long, who's already on a yellow card, and Edwards goes down. They won't send the keeper forward, but McLeod's inching closer to the halfway line. This is the last chance, you'd think.
There can't be much time left.
Everybody forward, save the goalie. And Romero will send it in. Ohale with the header on. Edwards justs it in. But wait just a moment. Offside called against Becky Edwards. And it had to have been on the header from Ohale after she had already touched it.
Yeah, she was just a little in front of that defender. Great header by Ohale, finish from Edwards, but offside.
That was super close. And with that, the final whistle blows. The Dash in their inaugural match take it down to the wire, but can't come through in the clutch. Jen
Not
Cooper,
for lack
your
of
thoughts?
trying. Not for lack of trying. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at that goal and just couldn't get it in. I'm sure they'll be frustrated with tonight's match, but they've got a lot to look back on and prepare for playing next week in Boston.
Allie Long with the lone goal of the match coming in the 24th minute. 1-0 the final. And we saw a couple of great saves from Aaron McLeod to keep the Dash in this game, Jen. But eventually, all these passes too long, too late.
They just need to keep at it, work on that final touch. They had too many that were way over the goal.
For Jen Cooper, I'm Lane Zeben. We'll see you next time with a Dash losing out to Portland 1-0.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
He's done just about anything else. Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
before and after every game. Watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hi there, this is Tally Hall, and I'm joined by Michael Bingham and Clayton Harris from the Houston Fire Department soccer team, and Al Vera from the Houston Police Department soccer team. We wanted to give you a heads up about the second annual Guns and Hoses match for charity. This year's match will take place on April 27th, immediately following our game versus Portland Timbers. Houston's police and fire departments place their lives on the line every day, and this is our chance to give back in a small way. A portion of the proceeds from each ticket purchased for this match will benefit both Assist the Officer and Firefighters Helping Firefighters.
Firefighters Helping Firefighters has been extremely helpful assisting families struggling following a major injury.
Firefighters Helping Firefighters. They started by firemen and run by firemen.
Assist the Officer is an organization dedicated to help Houston police officers and their families in a time of need. Come and support our Houston Dynamo and stick around for the game.
To order your tickets for this year's Guns and Hoses match, please go to www.houstondynamo.com/Guns and Hoses. I can't wait to see you all at BBVA Compass Stadium on April 27th as we battle Portland, followed by this season's Guns and Hoses Showdown.
impressive and the focal point for the aerial attack.
I would say
As they walk out from behind the goal.
Increase the interest for our kids to be engaged in sports at all levels.
They'll go to Romero.
But she survived.
They'll go to Romero instead, and a header inside the area. Long. And it's taken away. This is Masser teeing it up. And she sends it in. Trapped by Jackson. Shot! Just high over the crossbar once again. Through. Masser, she's free and sprung. Although the flag is raised. Is it lucky number 7? Sent in. And headed clearly a total 11 wins, 6 losses, 5. Oaks with a step over on the left foot. Tries for goal. Long still going with a shot. Saved by McLeod. Back to Sinclair. Towards Long. Right-footed shot comes in. Left-footed cross in. Masser's there. Oaks with a nice swim move. Trying to find Ojai. Pass just a touch too long. Masser lets it run. Jackson with a shot. Open on the back post. Cleared one. This is Long. Got to the goal line. This is Angie Kerr. What looked like. Comes in, sneaks into the back post, and it's give credit to Portland Thorns FC. They take a one. Romero will send it in. Ohale with the header on. Edwards chests it in.